Greetings, people of the future. Hope you're all buzzing and excited for the 2030 World Cup. It's going to be the 100-year anniversary of the first one hosted back in 1930, for those of us who remember. But today we're doing something different. This is a video for those of us who will remember in advance, because today, August 2025, they have released the England squad. But let's be honest, man, we don't care about all these friendlies and Nations League and whatever, so I ain't doing content on that. I'm going to be doing content on the England squad for the 2030 World Cup. So in advance, we're going to be predicting seeing the full squad, or 11 players, 2 in each position, so 22, and maybe like 3 bonus wild cards, and we'll see 5 years from now how close we were. So before we talk in, I want to say congratulations to myself on getting the 100k subscriber plaque to 5 years from now. Congrats on the new house, by the way. It looks amazing. Congrats on the son as well. I don't know, innit? Let's tuck in. Hopefully we come back in 5 years saying, "Raw, you know what? This guy's kind of cold." And in goal, I think pretty unsurprising, we're going to be starting with James Trafford. Obviously, in real life right now, he has just gone to Man City. Bit of a shaky start, if you will. They're speaking about Donnarumma arriving, but with Pickford, you know, he's going to be in his late 30s by this point. I know keepers, they can last a while, but the Pickford thing, big up saving the penalties with the small arms and whatnot. But you've had your time. Give others an opportunity, finally. And on the bench, although we do have the youngsters like Beadle and whatnot, I'm going to go for someone that is definitely going to be in his 30s. Dean Henderson will be our bench option, if you will, if Trafford is not available, if he's unfit or something, you know. I cannot predict injuries 5 years from now, but I feel as though goalkeeper is a position where you can have guys in their 30s and you're pretty calm. Like, you're not really going to be relying on someone that's 21, 22. And already our first point of contention is going to be right back. 2030, are they still debating about Reece James or Trent? I don't know. In my opinion, we're going to be talking about Livramento as the main man. Now, obviously, let's bear in mind as well, again, ages and whatnot. Trent's going to be 31 years old. Livramento will be 27 in his prime. And this is someone that good at defending, great going forward. He's quick, like 1v1s, he's sharp. I think he'll be England's starting right back. Look, we haven't even seen the 2026 World Cup at the time of this recording. Maybe he's even in the squad for that one, let alone another one in the future. But right now, where we are at, Livramento is not really like an England guy like that. They don't really rely on him per se. But I think he'll be a mainstay by then. And I guess for like a bench option, I got 2 options. And what I'm thinking here, bear in mind, 5 years from now, there's going to be guys that no one's expecting. Like, how on earth did you get into this team? So the players I've got in mind, we've got Jed Spence, who right here, right now, is in the form of his life for the last few months. But he's going to be, what, 30? 5 years from now? Someone that will be 1 year younger, 29 years old. It's going to be Kane Ramsey. Yes, Kane Ramsey of Charlton Athletic. I don't know where he's playing now. This is a very bold one. We might be here 5 years from now, watching this back and reacting to it and like, who the hell is my man? But from what I've seen with my own 2 eyes during the playoffs and whatnot, guys, this Kane Ramsey brother, he's going to the top. He should be playing Premier League. So obviously he hasn't played Premier League. He's just started his first season in the Championship even. I was watching him in League One, but I believe, even though he's currently 24, look, time is running out, I can't lie. But I've got to put some bold takes in there. I can't just go like, oh yeah, let's go put Reece James. Oh, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Let's go a bit extravagant. But at centre-back, the first one, we are going to have experience there, because there's no point in just putting loads of random teenagers in the team. That's never going to happen at the World Cup, no matter what the manager is. Right now, England currently employed Thomas Tuchel. Did he win the World Cup 2026? Are you guys already watching this saying, we don't care, we've already won the World Cup, just 2026? Maybe you are. I don't know. But first in the backline is going to be Mark Guéhi. He'll be 30 years old now. In real life, just now, he's won the FA Cup and the Community Shield, the International Super Copa de Anglais with Crystal Palace. So, you know, big ups to him. I think he'll be a good one to have there. Because, again, you need guys that are, you know, 28, 29, 30. People that have had multiple tournaments. During 2024, Mark Guéhi is one of the better performers. So, big up his thing. And for his bench option, now we're going to give you someone that 99.9% of you have never heard of. His name is Marley Salmon. Currently at Arsenal. I'm going to assume even on this website he's not even on the game. Because, of course, no player found. So how am I going to replace him for now? I just write Salmon underneath him. This kid is sensational. With guys like Gabriel and Saliba, obviously it's tough to break into that. And then you got guys like Mosquera and whatnot underneath. But trust me when I say this, just from pre-season alone, you can see certain players, and Marley Salmon, he's going right to the very top. Word to Harry Redknapp speaking about Frank Lampard. He's going to the top. And joining him at left centre-back, another player this time, or in fact our first player of this lineup that is yet to play for England. For all we know, he may not even pick England. I don't know, he might go Ghana or something. But I'm going Achimpong. This is a bold one. It's Chelsea's Achimpong. We've seen him a couple games this season. And I'll be honest, I'm moved. Is he even on the game? From what little I've seen already, I'm moved more than I was for Colwell. I remember the gas that Colwell used to get. You know, obviously Brighton times and then the Euro under 21s. They were going crazy. But me personally, I never really saw it. They were just gassing him because he's got a left foot. That being said though, just for like a insurance policy, maybe Colwell randomly gets good overnight. And in 5 years, when he's going to be, what, 27 years old, we can get him in as like a bench option. So Achimpong, who'll be 24. He's currently 19, but I believe he will go on to be better than Colwell. But I'll have him there just in case. You never know. And left back, I think is one that's pretty easy for me actually. The only slight issue I have is whether or not this guy will be playing left back or as a midfielder 5 years from now. It is someone that spent his entire academy days in the midfield and then broke into Arsenal's team just this most recent season as a left back. It's Miles Lewis-Skelly, who of course scored on his England debut. As things stand, people are currently debating, is it Lewis-Skelly or is it Hall? Many people are favouring Hall and they're saying he should be the one starting. Me personally, I'm not Hall's biggest fan. Like, I get it, I hear his good qualities, but when we speak about the Newcastle duo, fantastic duo in their own rights, I just think Livramento is far superior to Hall. And then likewise, Lewis-Skelly, the gap between him and Hall is astronomical to the point where, I'll be real, 5 years from now, when we're making the squad, I don't think people are even going to talk about Lewis Hall in terms of like, is he going to make it? Is he not going to make it? He'll just be like any guy at left back. You know what I mean? So we're going to have him there. And then if I've got to start picking names that we've never heard of again, I'm going to go for someone who he is versatile. And whatever gaffer's in charge in 2030, you're going to want these versatile players that can do a job for you anywhere. Someone that's currently playing at left back for Preston North End. I'll be honest, it's another Charlton one. I got 2 Charlton players in this because from what I saw with my eyes, they're just, sometimes you watch a player for a few minutes and you know you're going to make it. You are going to make it. This guy could play as a winger, he can play in defense, he can play wherever, and he's much younger as well. Currently he's what, 21 years old, so by this point he'll be 26. It's going to be Thierry, not Henri, Thierry Small of Charlton last season. He just moved to Preston, like I said, a few weeks ago, so big up his thing. That is the back line. Trent was a really close one, I'll be honest. There's still a shot to get Trent in there, to be fair. Do we get Trent in there as like, no, do you know what? We'll have Trent in the extra 3 at the end. So we'll have 22 players and then Trent. Because right now in real life, he's gone to Real Madrid. It's looking a bit shaky early on. I had him in my predictions to be one of the best signings of the summer. And already people are shouting at me that he's terrible. So I'm already on the back foot, but we'll see how the season goes, innit? Maybe, you know, football, things can change fast. One thing that I don't think will change very fast whatsoever is the DM. It's going to be Declan Rice, currently 25 years old, so he'll be 30 at this point. He'll be the anchor, someone that has played in Euros, in World Cups, in obviously Premier League for, by this point, what, 10, 12 seasons, something like that. Obviously Champions League, year in, year out. He, if anything, probably will take the captain's armband, I would assume, once Harry Kane retires, which you'd imagine would be after the next World Cup. But knowing that guy bagging 20 goals a year in Bundesliga, you never know, innit? Now, the only issue I'm thinking is there's not many DMs that I would say that can replace Rice. So I might make it like 2 midfielders and then 2 bench options for those midfielders, because someone that I want to show some love to as well is someone that his stocks have plummeted completely. His name, it's another Newcastle player actually, funny enough. His name is Lewis Miley. I think there's a great footballer in there. There's a really talented player in there. We saw it in the Champions League a couple seasons ago. Newcastle are actually back in the Champions League this year. So hopefully, maybe, we'll get to see him again. But their midfield, obviously, they've got the 3, you know, juggernauts in midfield. Your Joe Linton, Sonali and Bruno G's. So He doesn't really get the minutes anymore. Next to Declan Rice, someone that again I think should be a lock in this team now, Adam Wharton. Wow. He's played a few games for England where we are currently. Not a starter by any stretch of the imagination, but I think by this point he should be. And 5 years from now, I'll be honest, guys, this could get clipped. Are guys still clip farming in 2020 or 2020 what? 2030? Are you man still clip farming? I don't know what's happening nowadays in 5 years, but if I tell you guys Adam Wharton should be playing for Real Madrid, am I about to get laughed at? Am I going to watch it in 5 years thinking, no, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it? I've said it. Adam Wharton is Real Madrid level. This might look peak if we come back and he's playing for that Portsmouth or something, but big up Adam Wharton, he should be there. And I guess his backup, another one that his career could go anywhere. Many people are saying that he's meaty and he's only rated because he has the same surname as his brother. It's Jobe Bellingham. I think he will make the squad, so I'm going to get him in there. We saw snippets of him at the Club World Cup 2025, so a month ago, where I am in real life, or in the past for you guys watch. I don't know why I'm speaking like this. I'm going to post this today anyway, but we're going to look back on it again in 5 years. It's not going to be like I record it, time capsule, and then upload it in 5 years. I'm recording today. Anyway, besides the point. The 10. Ha ha ha. England. I can't lie. Thomas Tuchel, Gareth, if you come back, Big Sam, whoever's in charge by these times, you need to win something. Because if I start listing you the options that you've got at 10, aye. So you got the likes of, that can play in the 10 rather, the likes of Cole Palmer, the likes of Philip Walter-Foden if he's still kicking ball these times, or if he's not, retired at this point, the likes of Ethan Nwaneri. But among all these names, I find it impossible to discount one player who is currently 15 years old, yet to make his first Premier League start. In 5 years, he'll be starting for England in the 10 position. His name is Max Dowman. His name's not even in the database. That's how little people know about him at this point, I suppose. So you know what I'm gonna do? Johan Cruyff is who I'm putting there, and I'll write Dowman. Bang. We put him in the 10 like this. I do want Palmer in there, but I think that will be a convo for perhaps the front three. We'll see how it goes. I can't lie, guys. There's a lot of forwards. So if you're on the bench, don't be offended. And again, obviously, Ethan Nwaneri is the one that broke through at Arsenal before Max Dowman did. But Max Dowman, he just seems like there's just something different. He doesn't seem like a player who, even just in pre-season alone, someone that is only 15. He looks like he's been playing there for years. Like all the players, they trust him, they rely on him, they give him the responsibility of have the ball, take on your man. I don't care what the left back is. I want the ball. I want to play. So I believe Max Dowman, again, every tournament you're going to have those teenagers that are like adding a bit of fresh impetus to the squad. And I think Dowman will be him. And another one joining him, or rather, let me quickly add Ethan to the bench, to be fair. Let's get Ethan Nwaneri on there because, you never know what's going to happen. On the left, same applies. Someone whose image won't be there. So I'm going to put Rio Ferdinand, but it is not Rio Ferdinand. It is Rio Ngumoa. One of the first YouTube videos I made, those of you are watching in 5 years when I have the 100k plaque, one of the first videos of mine that done alright numbers was me saying that Rio's chain was real. Because Liverpool fans told me, yo, watch this guy, trust me. I said, you know what? I love to learn about football. I don't care what team. I sat there watching Liverpool versus Yokohama, Japanese team. I said, yeah, he's him. Lo and behold, a month later, he scored in friendlies, and then he scored the winner against Newcastle in the second game of the season at St. James's Park, where they were fighting for the custody of Isak. Where's Isak right now, guys? I don't even know. Is he at Liverpool? Is he at Newcastle? Who knows 5 years from now? But Rio, he needs to be there. That being said, look, there's competition, guys, because another player that I love currently, he's definitely established. You could argue it's the originator of the cold celebration, Morgan Rogers. I feel like I need space for him in this team. I can't build this team without Morgan Rogers. And so I'm going to make some kind of tactical changes and tweaks. Bear in mind, 5 years from now, stylistically, things are changing. You'll see why, because there's a player that's not been on here yet, and you're thinking, hold on a minute. How is this guy not in the team? I've got to manufacture it somehow. some way. So on the bench for Rio Ungamoa, who will be what, 22 at this point. This guy is going to be 28 years old, prime years. Morgan Rogers will be on the bench for Rio Ungamoa, or he might play as a 10. Again, a versatile player that can play on the left, as a 10, in the midfield, wherever. On the right, someone who for the last 4 years straight, you could argue, no, 3 years, World Cup 22, Euros 24, etc, etc, they have relied on this guy every time to bail them out, and more often than not, he does. His name is Bukayo Saka. He's 23 now, so he'll be 28 years old. So again, it's crazy to think that, well, obviously, God willing, if his hamstrings remain intact, because this season that we're currently in, he's already having hamstring problems. And of course, the end of last season, hamstring issues. So that could be a slight concern going forward. Will Arteta just completely have the hamstring off the bone? You know, like I said, like the goat meat in your fufu with the light soup. Is it going to be gone? We don't know. But as a footballer, he will definitely be there. Again, his thing, he can play on the left, on the right, centrally, in a 3-back, in a whatever back, he can play there. But definitely, the closest one to getting in this team that you could argue should be there will be Cole Palmer. I think he still has a role to play. I believe the Foden talk, it's over. It's going to be Palmer and Saka, ideally together. Now, what I'm thinking, and again, let me know. You can't let me know. It's going to be in 5 years, bro. It's too late. You can't change things. You could make the argument that you could try to squeeze both Palmer and Saka by playing one of them on the left, and then you get both of them in the team. Now, Palmer, we saw off the left a little bit this season already against Crystal Palace. It wasn't quite nice. I think Saka's probably more capable of playing on the left. And so, therefore, it's very possible that 5 years from now, to make sure that you get someone as talented as Palmer in the team, you go Saka left, Palmer right. But here's where the issue lies. Who is the 9? I'm afraid someone is going to have to play a bit deeper. And it's someone who has to be in a team somewhere. Jude Bellingham. 5 years from now, you know what's going to happen? Right here, right now, those that are watching in 2025, they're thinking, what is this maniac up to? But 5 years from now, they're going to look at me like I'm Isaac Newton when the apple fell on his head and he discovered gravity. They're going to say, yeah, you know what? That was so obvious. Why didn't we always do that? But here where I am now, they're launching the apples at my head. Like the tomatoes in SpongeBob. You know when he's telling the jokes? They're throwing tomatoes at me. But don't worry. 2030, like I said, they'll give me the Nobel Peace Prize. Play Bellingham here and allow Rio and Saka to make those runs inwards. And then you've got someone that can crash the box. But also Bellingham, we know he can contribute defensively as well. World Cups, it's about having legs also, you know, against teams that they can run marathons. I believe 2030 will be in Portugal, Spain, Morocco, if I'm not mistaken. That's some hot countries there. You need guys that can make those runs. And to be honest with you, the striker market right now when Kane goes, it's not looking too hot. Because in the last Euros, it was Harry Kane and then a big drop to, well, to be fair, Harry Kane was shocking last Euros actually. But in terms of general ability level, it was Harry Kane and then like Ivan Toney Watkins, both of whom will be in their 30s. So I don't see them really being in the team. Which means if on the off chance the Bellingham thing ain't working, I think there's only one man right now that looks like potentially being a 9. He's yet to really play for England. In fact, has he played at all for England? I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think he's even had his England debut yet. But Liam Delap, as a pure 9, battering ram, someone that Rio can whip in crosses to, Saka can whip in crosses to. Delap obviously plays with Palmer at club level where we currently stand, so you know there's some chances for things to maneuver there. But I would say, again, there are plenty of players that maybe 5 years from now, we've never heard of them even today, that are going to suddenly arrive on the scene and ball out. There's some that are still kind of fringe that I think have a chance. The likes of Gittins, who just gone to Chelsea from Dortmund. I think he's got a chance to be in that, you know, 25-man squad, if you will, if you add the extra 3 players. Someone like Dibbling, how will the Everton move work? He just got relegated to Southampton, but everyone was really moved by him. Romain Esse, Crystal Palace, that's my dog right there. That was one of the first players that I did any interview content with. So I'm hoping that we'll see him in the World Cup squad. But this is my team. Like I said, you can change Bellingham for Delap. You can maybe swap Saka to the left, Palmer to the right. But I think on the whole, guys, I've done quite a good job. The only thing I'm thinking of as well, Achimpong Gehi at the back. There's like one team in, you could argue, Prem history that seemed to do very well with having two IC3s at centre back. Of course, Arsenal have lived with Kolo Toure and Sol Campbell at the back. Obviously, Gabriel Saliba rocks at the back currently. But I do also feel like for the England national team, I feel like it's important to have one proper geezer as your centre back. You know, your John Terry types, your Gary Cahill types. Is that woke to say in 2030? Sorry, 5 years from now, if that's like a bit offensive, you know, my most sincere apologies. Over here in 2025, we're still like, you know, on the borderline, like what's acceptable to say? Can we say these things? Can we not say these things? I believe you do need one Caucasian, English, proper English centre half. But there aren't really many available, guys. We don't have any Jagielkas. We don't have any Bobby Moores right now. So if you know any, let me know in the comments. Is this team going to be the first one to win the World Cup since the likes of Jeff Hurst and some Bobby Charltons and them, man, back in 1966? For those of us who remember. What would you change? Keep the likes coming, keep the comments coming. Put your team, because, listen, wherever you are 5 years from now, we're going to come back. We're going to read your comments as well. I'm going to go through the comments and say, haha, look at what my man was saying. He said that this guy was going to be playing and he wasn't there. No one even cared about him. So, all the best. Enjoy the international break. I hate international break. Apologies. In a bit. Bosh.